What's going on YouTube, man? Your boy Flan Speech chilling again. Yeah, that was the girl says it. Y'all know I'm more of an old school type or whatever, but I got like a little soft spot for scissors somewhat because I know her father. Her father is an important activist in the Muslim community, right? I know her father, going way back, But at any rate, man, we are nearing the start of the WNBA season. Friday is going to kick off some really good games, and then Saturday is really going, I think, kick it into high gear. And I'm anticipating all of the action. But with that comes content creators who doing their thing, man. I get it. We all trying to do our thing. We all have our own goals and objectives, man. We all have our own levels of ambition, and we all have our morals and stances and stuff like that, man. So there's a lot going on in this space right now. This video, I'm gonna kind of address a couple of the same main actors, man, and their ways and stuff like that. What I'm feeling, what I'm not feeling, and then I'm noticing some new people joining in on this here. I think they seizing the opportunity because they see something that has some potential to it, and I just want to give just a little bit of advice and a little bit of game, man. Listen, yesterday I was debating over, and I'm still debating over whether or not I'm going to do a full refutation of one of the Clarkey clan content creators. I call him that, and I deal with him in this way only because I feel like the dude lacks sincerity. Either he lacks sincerity or he lacks something wrong up here, right? He puts out 2 videos. One video is directed at Asia Wilson. Okay, a white dude, bald head. I think his channel is called Here We Go. Come on now, something like that, man. Last year I had to do a refutation of one of his videos where I voiced over him, right? And I was thinking about doing that again, but here he coming at Asia Wilson again, because Asia Wilson just recently is in the New York Times, and New York Times is writing an article about Asia Wilson's A1s, which sold out in minutes. Okay, and the article, which was not written by Asia Wilson, but not written by Asia Wilson, but written about Asia Wilson, which is very important. The article was written by someone who their agenda was to try to figure out why it took so long for Asia Wilson, a player who's in, I believe, her 7th season, to have a shoe. This was the objective of the article. I read the whole thing. It's New York Times. To read it, you got to actually subscribe. So I went through the whole ordeal to subscribe it and read the whole entire article, right? This guy does a whole video on it, and all he does is throughout the whole article ignores everything in the article, right? And focuses on one paragraph that's towards the end of the article where the author of the article, the writer, is talking to Asia Wilson and comparing her to the Caitlin Clark fanfare, fan base, and attention that Caitlin Clark has received, right? Now, the person in there puts a quote in there from Asia Wilson that's basically an old quote that was, very controversial to some people for some reason, because you got a lot of these folks in this country who just want to, whatever. I'm not even going to get into all of that because I know some of y'all get real sissy-fied about these things, and some of y'all want to, no, I don't want to listen to this guy and all of that. So I'm not going to do all that. This one time, I'm going to consider y'all feelings. just a little bit. So I'm not going to go get into it, but it's about the issue surrounding privilege that some segments of society who look like Caitlin Clark seem to get, and A'ja Wilson has her opinion on that. This guy takes this old statement that really has very little to do with the article and just puts out there that A'ja Wilson is again complaining about this. And then this leads into a whole talk with him, just trying to go in on A'ja Wilson, saying that A'ja Wilson shouldn't feel like she was discriminated against. She shouldn't feel like she's ever dealt with racism or because she was supposedly raised in an affluent community with black people who got money and black people who sent her to a nice school and all these different types of things. And just now talking about it makes me really want to go ahead and do the video while I do a voiceover on them, because I'm tired of these types of dudes and these types of conversations because they're so laced in ignorance, man. And personally, I think your name is Rudy. I challenge you to a face-to-face talk on this subject, homie, if that's what you want. But I'm gonna give you a little bit of game just to let you know what you're gonna have to deal with if you do have the balls, you know what I mean, to go ahead and face me in something like that. Number one, when you're talking about this issue of like privilege and so on, it's not something or black people who supposedly in your estimation complain about their situation and so on. This isn't something that's just the property of like black people who are impoverished or from impoverished homes. That's number one, the first thing you need to understand. The majority of those who led the movements in the past were from the affluent black community. Like, for example, if we can go back to Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was a man, of course, he came from humble beginnings, but he was of the upper class. So much so that he was able to marry a white woman back in the 1800s, early 1800s, which was unheard of, actually against the law in the States, all right? If you look at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and if you look at before him, Vernon Johns, who was his forerunner, who was the leader of that church and much more radical than him. Both of them came from the segment of the black community which was considered the bourgeoisie, okay? They had money. Martin Luther King went to the best schools. He was highly educated. That's why he was so smart, right? So this was never an issue of, okay, you got to be from the hood or from the ghetto. You got to grow up eating mayonnaise and mustard sandwiches in order to feel like there's something called white privilege in the United States, right? That's never been the case. So you need to kill that right there, or you're going to get slaughtered. You know what I mean? Debate-wise, if we decide to go that route, I can literally name you dozens. That has nothing to do with that subject. You need to stop talking about that, bro. And then he has another video about Angel Reese here. Right? First of all, he's pushing all these BS narratives the whole time. Ever since we've gotten close, ever since preseason has started, one of the main dudes pushing the narrative that Angel Reese, because she's so bad at basketball, she's been moved from being the primary option on the team to being like the third option and all of this other kind of stuff. Right? When in fact, when it comes to the offensive scoring on the team, Angel Reese was never the first option on the team. We can go back last year, my man. All you got to do is do a little bit of research, and you'll see that. Last season, the primary option on the team was, in the beginning of the season, was Marina Mabry. Marina Mabry, okay, was the primary option on the team. Then it went to about Kennedy Carter, okay? Then eventually that flipped. Kennedy Carter was the main option. Then Marina Mabry. Then it was Angel Reese. Despite that, Angel Reese was still the best player on the team because of everything that she does, all of the versatility that she has. Now, anyone, as many of us have said, if you have studied Angel Reese, going back to college, going back to high school and all of that, she has a number of different skills that only a smart coach would use her in these different capacities. The hell with your opinion about what you think she is, man. Don't nobody care nothing about that. If you just kept it basketball, we'd be cool. This dude got a video out saying that she owns the coach because she skipped practice. He allowed her to skip practice to go to the Met Gala. First of all, Joker, you don't know what the situation is. Like, if you have a job or whatever, and the Met Gala is a certain day, it's likely that was known way beforehand that she was going to go to that. You don't know what they worked out or what she has to do to pay that back, man. But this is what I'm getting into, basically. You got these content creators on here, man, that are about drama content and those who are about the sport, man. I swear to God, I want to be about the sport. I mean that. I want to be about the sport. The only reason that other stuff come up is because I feel like it has to be dealt with. I don't like slander. I don't like, and I really don't like when dudes of his type do that to sisters. I'm sorry, I don't. You want to consider that a problem? I don't like that. I don't like bald head white dudes like really coming at black women like that. That burns my bridges, and I'm always gonna say something. And of course, it ain't just them. I don't like when Jason Whitlock does it, because I don't like when any of them guys do it, man. I don't like it. Now, it's one thing if you criticizing their game. You can talk all day about Angel Reese needs to improve her layup package. She needs to improve her footwork in the post. She blah, blah. Yeah, bro, we already know all that, man. Us who really deal with basketball, we're going to say that before you even ever say it. She needs to use her jumper more. We know all that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we don't care about that. The problem is that you want to really all of it is about Caitlin Clark. Y'all such Caitlin Clark worshipers, and this dude really a Caitlin Clark worshiper, for real. This joker had the nerve to fix his mouth during the video, and this is how he describes A'ja Wilson. As one of the best players in the league. A'ja Wilson, bro. A'ja freaking Wilson, one of the best players in the league. But he says Caitlin Clark is the greatest ever that we've ever seen. Right there, bro. Right there. You don't have no basketball credentials with me. With that, you have no basketball credentials right there. From the rip, use a clown and use a dude that's just, come on, man. I know what you're doing. It's one of two things. Either you really believe that and you don't know basketball at all. We can definitely debate that one. A'ja Wilson versus Caitlin Clark any day of the week, bro. Any day of the week. Or you just trying to grow your channel, knowing that Caitlin Clark got a whole bunch of people that want to watch her. So you just don't say negative things, or you just hype her up to get those views. A lot of people doing that stuff. I get it. I do. I don't know if I respect it a lot, but I get it. Right now, I notice just off of this guy. I notice a lot of the young boys coming on, or not gonna say young guys, I don't know their age, but new to this here game. Guys right now with about 300 subs, guys with about like 800 subs, and I wish you all success, man. But I'm starting to notice a trend right now. Two of them already seen. One of them, he covering the Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever over the Atlanta game. Covering the game. When Caitlin Clark got the ball. The GOAT coming down and all that. I already called her the GOAT. Right there, I'm out. Because either this person hasn't watched the reason I'm going to tell you why I don't like that and why I don't even consider it like a valid opinion to have. Number one, she's a rookie. They only played one season. Didn't win the title, right? Was not the best player last year. So how the hell you the GOAT, right? And when I ask you, like, directly, what is the reason? What does it boil down to? Oh, man, she hit 2 35-footers in the game against the Sparks last year. This is what one of you dudes said. So you considering logo threes. That's what you saying makes you the GOAT. Logo threes, bro. Shooting long threes. Bruh, All right, then the Nescu is the best or the second best then. Because the Nescu shoots logo threes, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? The Steph Curry's definitely the GOAT then. What are we doing? It was just shooting logo threes makes you the GOAT, man. You know what I mean? But this is what I want to say to some of you young brothers, man, like just coming on. Listen, you got drama content, and you got real content that's based on something. And this is how you tell the difference, man. This is how you tell the difference. Caitlin Clark, let me just give you an example based on her. She comes into the league last year, whatever. All right. We know all the hype, man. We know all the hype. Many would say this is the greatest women's basketball player they've ever seen. For those of you who want to say that ain't true, go to the Bull Rudy's channel. Come on, come down, whatever the hell his channel is, right? And if not, I'll provide the video where he said it yesterday on the video. She's the greatest basketball player we've ever seen. Because he was trying to make an argument for why A'ja Wilson isn't as marketable. Well, because Caitlin Clark is the greatest, basketball we've ever seen. And I watched them all. This is what he claims. Okay? All right, so she comes in with that type of hype. Because he ain't the only one. There's a lot of people saying it. I personally ran into people who say it. Okay? So the women in the W, they hear that. Okay, it's number one pick, greatest ever, they hear that. Okay? So when they playing defense on her, they defended her hard. We also have a history of rookies, especially high picks, getting defended hard. Since, whatever. You can go back to Candace. You can go back to, Maya. You can go back to any of them. You can look at Angel Reese being defended hard by Alyssa Thomas and stuff like that, right? And one group of people, this is how you can take it, who cover it, right? This is the subtle differences here. One group of people will say, the women were very competitive with her, played her very hard, and they're very competitive with her because they want to make her prove it. You're a rookie, you got to prove it that you're number one. Everybody's saying that, you got to prove it. This is something that we know, right? It's easy to say. You can look at it, okay, they're playing hard and being competitive. The other narrative is, this is how you switch a narrative. The ladies in the WNBA are jealous of Caitlin Clark because of the fanfare, right? Jealous. Okay. Now, what's the difference? The first one, when you say competitive, this is like something that you can actually prove, verify. It's empirical data. I can look at, okay, they're being competitive. It's also in line with what an athlete is supposed to be. It's also in line with the history of sports. Okay? When Lonzo Ball comes into the NBA, his father hyping him up all year. Gets him to be number 2. He goes up against Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is treating him being very competitive with him. Jamal Murray jealous of him? Pat Beverly, same way with him. Ben Simmons had a little something in it when he dealt with him. Okay? But right? So we know that's how sports can be. But the drama narrative, people, this is the difference. When you say jealousy is a drama narrative. Why? You can't prove jealousy. It's a hidden internal state of the heart that a person can't prove. You're not a mind reader. You're not some damn psychic where you can look in or pierce into someone's heart to see their intentions, right? You're not able to do that. You're not God. Can't do any of that, right? What you're doing is you're projecting something in order to make people who are just playing a sport evil. That's what you want to do. You want to now make them evil somehow. Want to give them evil intentions now. Okay? When Caitlin Clark is playing and she's pushing off and she smacks someone in the face, you interpret that as, oh, it was incidental contact. When DJ Carrington is sticking her and incidentally hits her in the face, oh, she purposely tried to poke her in the eye. This is why I don't respect y'all. That's why I have no respect for you. You don't like what I'm saying? Get your punk ass away from the channel. I don't care. I don't respect that, bro. I don't respect that. She's no different from any other player. Right? When she comes out here, she got to prove who she is. It's just that simple, bruh. Just because you want to watch her, you think she's the best, that's your situation. That's on you, right? But to constantly interpret everything that she does is, oh yeah, she's just this, because you have this opinion that she's just this angel. But you already have this other opinion of everybody else, right? That drama content. And that's what I'm saying. You choose the way you want to go, man. You going to keep it straight lace, or you going to be on some drama content, right? And some people are going to go with the drama content, I guess, because that stuff sells. Like you basically the tabloids. You in the journalistic world, you USA Weekly or whatever these damn things is called, the National Enquirer. Whereas like others, you want to keep it real, or you want to at least say what you can confirm and what you know, right? So that's that on that, right? But we got to be careful in this space, because now you got that, and then you got individuals who want to just cause all types of problems. You got devils all over this place amongst the fan base, right? Now I've just seen it happen with some brothers, man. All of whom I respect, all of them. You know, got to be careful out here. You will have jokers that are coming to your comment section, right? Trying to take your opinion or something you said, because let's just keep it funky. Even there is no person, right, in this whole space, meaning those who I consider allied with, cool with, and those who I'm not cool with. There's nobody who I agree with every single thing they say, every position all the time, right? So I'm going to say some things where I disagree with somebody who I respect. That's going to happen, right? So what a devilish individual will do, though, is he'll come and he'll take what somebody said and try to go to another person's channel and try to make it look like, oh, that person sneak dissing them because he disagreed with them and all of that. But all that stuff is like corny, man. It's like little girl stuff. You know what I mean? And like, we got to be very careful, you know, all of that. And we got to keep our eyes on who's doing those things, man. You know what I mean? Because like that right there is not benefiting anybody. You know what I'm saying? That stuff ain't benefiting anybody. Even though I don't think it's really going to cause that much damage, because I think most parties involved are real men. You know what I mean? I don't think nobody's really, people that are on that time, you're going to really be able to recognize them. You know what I'm saying? And I think these things tend to work themselves out, you know, over time. You know, but we do have to be careful. You got to be careful of individuals who, like, this is the best thing, man. This is the best thing. If somebody says something that you're not quite sure what they saying, you don't know if it's a sneak diss or not, the best thing to do is just straight ask him, bro. Damn, bro, what did you mean by that? You know what I mean? That's how you do that before you go thinking of holding something in your heart. You know what I mean? Against somebody. You know what I mean? That's the best way to handle that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But as for me, trust me, even though I might disagree with some of my brothers or whatever, my real target is always them other jokers, man. Them ops. The ops are clear to me. It's the drama makers. And it's not just Caitlin Clark fans. No. But it is Caitlin Clark fans who disrespect the whole league, the history of the league, the women in the league, the coaches in the league, disrespect Cheryl Swoops, disrespect all those types of folks, right? Those are the people I don't bang with and I come at all the time and will always come at. Those are always my target. It ain't never the brothers that, like, you know, like some of us, you know, we might have a little different views on Angel Reese, this and that. You know what I mean? We all Angel Reese fans, for example. But somebody like me might think Rakia Jackson's a little better. Every Angel Reese fan don't like that, but it is what it is. Some might think that, you know, another player is a little better or whatever. Like, listen, man, those things are going to happen. And I'm the type where I'm cool with being wrong. I'm cool with being wrong. If Angel go out there and prove she's just definitely better than Rakia, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? But we all have our own metrics, our own things that we look at, our own things we believe. We got to, like, just be more like, grown about this stuff, man. This stuff should never turn into no real drama. But it can if you let devils who remain hidden and do little sneak shit and try to cause strife between people persist. Gotta be real careful with that joint. Gotta be real careful with that, man. As for me, I be having feelings sometimes that there's some people that don't really mess with me at times or whatever, but I mean, I ain't gonna never let that dictate what so what, man? I already know I'm not everybody's favorite type because I like to get my hands dirty if I see something. Like what I did when I first coming at the boy Rudy. There's a lot of people in my space that I mess with that don't get into that. They might not even like that. They might not even like that I'm doing that. But that's cool. I believe it's necessary. So I do it. You know what I mean? And it's just that simple. Some people like this content. Some people like that content. Some people like it all. I think everybody has a space, have an area. You know what I mean? To me, it's a garden, man, with different types of fruits, different types of vegetables, different types of, you know what I mean? That's what makes a garden. Variety, bro. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, let's get ready for some basketball. We only got like a couple days. You know what I'm saying? So my next thing tomorrow, next video look out for, I'm going to predict all these games. You know what I'm saying? My predictions. If you a betting man, you know what I'm saying? I'm your boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make some I'm your boy. Trust me. But give me a couple days. First couple days, I got to get a feel for what these teams doing. You know what I mean? But I'm your boy on that, man. You see, boy, that call drops, man. It's crazy. The weather just up and down up here in Philly, man. So, let me end that out. This video way longer than I like to do. So, I'll get with y'all, man. Peace.